Hi everybody, welcome back and thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be creating the piece that you see here. It's made with a 12mm gemstone bead as well as a 2mm bead and copper wire. So if you'd like to see me make this, keep right on watching. For today's project, we're going to be using 22 gauge half round, 20 gauge square, and 18 gauge round copper wire, as well as a 12mm gemstone bead. In this case, I'm using a Black Onyx. We're also going to be using our standard jeweler's pliers and tools and tape measure. So let's get started. I'm going to start by cutting 10 inches of this 20 gauge square wire. For the next step, I'm going to use these. These are wire twisting tools. So basically, the end, you stick your wire inside that side here, and this piece loosens or tightens as you turn it. And this is the other side. So one side is for a larger bore of, a larger gauge, and this side is for a smaller gauge. So they're both basically the same thing. So I'm going to put one piece of the wire on this end and one piece of the wire on this end, and I'm going to twist in opposite directions. So this one's going to go to the left, this one's going to go to the right, and it'll just twist the wire. I'm going to twist the square wire with these. It's not really necessary to have these tools. You can actually twist the wire with your hand, but sometimes it's a bit tedious, so I like to use this. So I'll just quickly show you. Here's the wire, the square wire, and here is one end. I just stick it inside there and I turn to tighten that wire inside there. See, now it's, oops, I thought it was tight. Let me tighten it a bit more. All right, now the wire's tight in there, and put it on the other side. And just tighten that as well. Alright, and then you just twist your wire. Now I've twisted my wire to the desired look that I want. It's pretty simple and quick. Anyway, you can invest in a set like this, or you can just continue to twist with your hand. You could also use a drill, but I don't have a drill, so there we have it. Next, I'm going to cut 2 pieces of the 18 gauge wire, 8 inches each. Next, I'm going to cut 24 inches of the half round wire. Now I'm going to use a Sharpie to mark the midway point of the 18 gauge wire, both of them aligned. Now you want to take the half round wire and bend it in half. Find the center there, and then we're going to make sure the flat side is down. And then we're going to take those 2 18 gauge wires right at that point that we made with the Sharpie, and begin to wrap the half round wire around them. Make sure they're neat and close together, and then just continue the length of the wire. Okay, I've finished wrapping the wire. Next, take a Sharpie and mark at 1 inch of the twisted wire. You want to do both sides, both ends of the wire. Mark 1 inch. You want to align all the wires like so with that 1 inch mark right at the end of this double wire. So the 1 inch point is right there, and it lines up with the end of the other wire, both sides. I did that to ensure that all the wires are going to be centered, because we're going to wrap some half round wire around the center of the bundle here. So find the exact center of the bundle. So the center point would be 4 inches for the weaved wire and exactly 5 inches for the twisted wire, but held together is where we're going to wrap the half round wire. We're going to wrap it around about 3 times. So I'm going to cut about 1 inch half round wire and wrap it around. Now we're going to get the bead, and we're going to shape the wire around it. I want to make sure that your cut ends are on the inside. Here are the cut pieces right there. Make sure they're on the inside of the frame when you wrap around. So we're just gonna go ahead and make sure it's centered right there. And you can use like the hole for your center point if you like, since it's round. You don't necessarily have to go around that way. You can actually go on top. Start it that way to make sure that you have the center, and press. I'm going to do it in the air because it's easier for me. Basically, I'm just gonna bend the wire around. Like that. Come all the way around. Alright, so this is what we have here. I'm just gonna squeeze the top here to make like a neck. Squeeze all the pieces together like that. Alright. So I'm going to, well, I had a piece of scrap wire that I'm going to utilize, but basically I'm just going to take a piece of wire and put it through the hole there, come out the other side, and then I'm just going to attach the wire to the entire frame on this side, wrap it around a couple times on both sides, just to hold the bead in place. It's about, you would need about 2 inches or so. I have to do one side at a time. Let's take that off. Actually, this is half round wire that I didn't realize. You can use half round or you can use regular round. I'm just using this because it was scrap and it was just long enough for what I needed for this project. So I'm gonna wrap it around here. 1, 2, 3 times there. All right. Now come back and put that back inside toward the back. Pull that around. Now I'm going to wrap the other side around 3 times as well. So now we want to take these two wires here, the twisted wire, and we're going to bring them over crisscross, one over top of the other, like that. And really, I'm not sure how I want to do this yet, but I'm gonna figure something out here. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to take this wire and maybe I'll bring it to the back like that, both of them around the back of the frame and then around to the front again. Alright, so at this point I'm basically just winging it. I'm just trying out different looks or tactics, so to speak. Trying to figure out what looks best. A lot of times it's an improvisation, and this is one of those times. And I like that. Alright, so I think, alright, I think it's just time to go ahead and form the bail. So here's the bail making pliers. And I'm going to use my favorite, 1, 2, 3, third from the smallest. And go ahead and shape that wire around to form the bail. Alright. And I'm gonna just squeeze these wires in a bit before I go any further. Here we go. Alright. Take these wires here and bring them toward the back. And I think I'm just gonna cut these two. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut them. And snip. There's one, and here's the other. Snip. So I think now this wire here, I will just tuck it inside the frame toward the back here, and do the other one the same way. All right. I think I'm gonna take this one back to the front, pull it out, and give it a curve. I've started the curve, and I'm just gonna continue around and make it a loop. See how that comes out. And let's see about, I guess try to do the other one the same way. Only take it the opposite direction as the first loop. Okay, Okay, so this is what we have so far. Now I'm gonna, I guess, go ahead and turn it over, and I think we can just go ahead and clip it right here. Go ahead and clip these wires because I don't need them anymore. All right, and generally I would make my loop this way, but I'm going to go the opposite way this time. All right, let's go ahead and make that curve. All right, actually I'm going to use my stepped pliers for this to make all the loops equal. So go ahead and bend that wire backwards. All right. And now I'll just press them flat or close like that. And this is what I have. Now that the design is basically finished, I think I'm just going to critique it a bit, figure out what I could add or subtract or change per usual. So I ended up cutting the pieces that I had wrapped around the front here, and I just wrapped the end around the back of this here, like that, right there. This is the present look of the piece, and I'm okay with it, but I think I want to add another addition to it, and that would be a 2mm gemstone of the same sort. I think just to give it a little embellishment, and to do that I'm going to use 24 gauge wire to incorporate this bead. So I'm going to go ahead and put the bead onto the wire. Very small here, so I don't have my magnifiers on right now. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna put the bead on there, and I wanna put it about right here. I think that'll look good. And then use the rest of the wire to wrap up the neck here. So I'm going to, I didn't cut it, so it's still on the spool. So I'm gonna start here and just work my way around like that. Not bad. And just continue wrapping the wire till I get it up the neck. I'm going to leave that one side toward the back and just continue with this one all the way up. That way I can snip this in the back. Let me go ahead and snip that while I'm at it. And I'll just press that piece flat there in the back. And I'll continue on. Actually, I'm going to lift this up a bit so I can get the wire through there.
There we go. I think that's good enough. And I'm just gonna snip it in the back inside here and press it flat. And that's it. Go ahead and put this back down. Alright, I would like to have made the neck look a little bit better, but this was a last minute thing, and sometimes I don't always plan for things, such as the case right now. But anyway, here we go. If you're gonna make this or you're trying to make it, I'm sure you can edit it to suit your own needs, styles, or suggestions. Anyway, that's it, you guys. Thank you for watching.